Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy back at it again. If you're thinking that we're preparing for another week of football, you are mistaken. The Bills have been eliminated. There's chaos in Buffalo. No coach. Players are upset. Star players are crying. Listen, it's a mess in Buffalo. And we got to figure out, we got to talk things through on what we feel should happen. Latest news, I mean, listen, if you've been living under a rock and you have no idea what's taking place, shame on you. Sean McDermott is no longer the Buffalo Bills head coach. He was let go, shown his paperwork. And it was abrupt. It was something that's been in conversation amongst fans for years. Get rid of him, 13 seconds, et cetera, et cetera. And it's so weird because we've gone to the point where it was, man, I'm done with I'll speak for myself. I said in the offseason, although I'm a big fan of McDermott, you guys have been hearing me for years. And I even got flamed for it. But I was always the protector of McDermott. I like McDermott, give him another shot. But this offseason, I was like, bro, he's got to get it done this year or he's got to go. I love that brother, but he's got to go. But over the season, I was like, you know what? I can't see them letting this guy go, man. They're both going to be around for a while. We're cool. Apparently not, because they said, you got to go. And not only does he have to go, Brandon Beane is now not only remains as GM, but he's now president of the squad. He is president of operations when it comes to the Buffalo Bills. So he got a promotion while Beane is sitting at the top. My man McDermott is now searching for a new gig. Will he be searching for long? I highly doubt it. Will he be poaching coaches and players? Because I'm sure he's not smiling about this. I can absolutely guarantee that's exactly what he's going to be doing. This team is going to be different. But different is what we wanted. We wanted different. We wanted something that was going to get us over the hump. I'm just as shocked as you guys when the news broke. I was at work and I'm sitting here going, what? Are you kidding me? We lose. We're already feeling some type of way and the coach goes. But guess what? That's what happens. That's exactly what happens. And I'll talk on my sentiments on Sean McDermott in just a little bit. But I'm not here to talk about this just on my own. I got a good 20 minutes with my mans, Mr. Carl Jones. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, my guy, Mr. Carl Jones. Ladies and gentlemen, Carl Jones. What's up, Carl?
What's up, my boy?
My guy, listen, every time I give you that applause, I love it. Let's get right to the nitty gritty because there's a lot that people are asking. There's a lot that people want to know. You're in the know. You're in the room. You're around some of these players. You're around your media colleagues, and there's conversation, a buzz. So the first topic I kind of want to hit is this McDermott fallout, this crossroads, right? And I wonder if candidates are looking to go coach somewhere and they're watching Buffalo. They're like, yo, McDermott just got canned like that. And I want to go over there. I don't know what's going on over there. I don't know if I'm going to pump the brakes on going over there. Do you believe that's the case? Or are people packing their bags and saying, I want to interview. This is going to be the hottest job to go get. Is it as hot as some of these other places that are out there? What are your thoughts, your opinion?
I still think it's a very quality job and one of the best jobs on the market. For my money, probably second best. You get to coach Josh Allen. Listen, when you are a coach and you know in this business, above all else, your job security is directly linked to how good your quarterback is. So I think any sane human being out there will be itching and clawing to have the chance to coach Josh Allen. Having said that, though, another thing that coaches value, and quite frankly, any of us who have ever had a job where you deal with corporate America, you value structure and you value stability and you value front office and GMs and good relationships with those people. There's nothing worse than a great job, but you can't trust the people above you, or you feel as if it's toxic. It doesn't matter how well you feel like your job is on the surface. We all been to work where it's like, damn, I feel like I got a cloud hanging over my head because head honcho upstairs on my back. And maybe, I'm not saying this to be true because I don't know every single candidate, but maybe there are some candidates out there who feel, oh man, they made the divisional round or AFC championship every single year and got canned. Oh man, he got canned, and then the guy who canned him got a promotion. What does that say for my stakes there? That means I'm third in command here. Like, I don't report to the owner, I report to the guy who has two jobs, GM as well as president of football ops. So I still think it's a very intriguing job. But when I think about Baltimore, and listen, they aren't dandelions and roses either. But one of the things that you can say about the Ravens organization since they become a thing in the late 90s, their stability and their front office structure, even dating back to Ozzie Newsome and how they handle the draft and how they handle their scouting and how every single damn year I feel like the Ravens have like 5 extra comp picks where I'm like, where the hell did y'all get that from? That is because their front office structure is well put together. Their owner, for the most part, stays out of the way. They just have a really good report system over there where the coaches and the ecosystem there is conducive for the coaches to just worry about what's going on in the field. I don't know that to be true in Buffalo, but it's just, if from an outside perspective, if you are a coach, you're like, damn, man, I don't even talk to the owner. I got to talk to bruh who just kicked out other bruh. So it's still an appealing job. And you know, everyone got egos and you feel like, oh, I can be the one to fix this as long as I get to coach Josh. Who cares about the other stuff? But I do think the overarching theme that I've taken away over the last 24 hours is, yeah, you better make sure all your ducks in a row because stability is what we all value at the end of the day.
You're not wrong about that. So in your opinion, because I'm looking at the beginning of this, right? And some doesn't seem right. And I'm seeing this all over the internet right now, and I never wanted to look at it this way, but now they've almost turned their back on Beane. Beane's the bad guy right now, right? So he went from being big baller Beane to, you know what I mean, being the bad guy. You know what I'm saying? He's like the Razor Ramon. I'm the bad guy. So right now I'm looking at this situation and I'm like, okay, let me take it back. McDermott gets hired as the head coach. Doug Whaley was the GM at the time. Pagula's like introduces this guy. This guy's going to be the guy that leads it. He was talking great things about him. And cans Whaley later, months later, to only take the recommendation of McDermott to bring in Beane. So now you bring your guy onto the squad, and years later, I'm the one canned, and I brought you on? I put you on? Bro, it looks nasty to me. So my question, in your opinion, what your thoughts are, is this a bad look on Beane? Is Beane the bad guy in this situation? Or is it just business?
I think that remains to be seen. I think there are a lot of situations as to where, listen, the optics aren't great right now, but let's just say in a year or two, God forbid how long, the Bills go to and maybe even win a Super Bowl. Is he still the bad guy? I think the most recent example that I can think of there's actually 2 examples of power struggles, because that's what this was. This was a power struggle with one side winning. I got one on both sides. Let's start with the back scenario here.
Yeah.
A few years back, the Tennessee Titans, their GM and Mike Vrabel had a power struggle. Mike Vrabel wanted more say-so, felt as if that his opinion wasn't valued as much. And the owner ended up siding with the GM. Mike Vrabel out the building. Come to find out, that GM got fired shortly thereafter anyways, and they haven't been on good footing since. So that was an example of owner choosing GM and was wrong. But an example on the contrary of an owner being correct in choosing the GM, or the GM ousting and winning that struggle, is Seattle. Where Seattle, John Schneider, their general manager, their guy who runs things over there, and Pete Carroll had a power struggle towards the end where Pete felt as if he needed more say-so. John Schneider said, hey, bro, you aren't picking the right players. I don't like your vision. Owner sided with John Schneider. Pete is gone. They bring in the young hotshot whiz kid and Mike McDonald. Now they are 60 minutes away from playing in the Super Bowl. Who was right in that scenario? So I can't sit up here and say today who was right and who was wrong, but the optics aren't great. But the optics weren't great the day after that Seattle canned their most successful coach in franchise history either. So I think give me some time here. Obviously, in these things, like, you want the rash reaction, but those are 2 examples of these things can go left or right real quick.
I'm so glad you brought the whole Brandon Beane and owner and certain other teams and where it worked and where it didn't work out. I'm looking at this. I'm trying to look at this as objectively as possible because I like Brandon Beane. I'm a fan of Brandon Beane. I think he gives me straight shooter, doesn't mess around, and he says what he says. He hasn't given us any other reason other than that little blow up that he had. But I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you felt some type of way, you go from there, right? But I'm looking at Beane. I'm like, was he the actual problem or was he a target? And I'll explain what I'm trying to say, right? Because I'm looking at the issue when you're the GM, you're bringing in the groceries to the squad, but McDermott been taking little pot shots in the media. So if I'm the GM and I'm your homie, and I'm hearing is, the Jacksonville Jaguars are good, Tom, and they went out and got themselves a receiver. Almost as if saying must be nice. And the other pot shot was, I could have done something with my DBs, but pretty much saying somebody decided to move on from one and release one, and one never showed up. So now it's becoming public. So now you're taking public shots at me, bro. If you want to talk, let's talk internally. So if I'm the GM, I'd feel some type of way. So I don't want to make Sean seem like he's innocent in all this. I'm sure there was something going on, but I don't want to make Beane look like he's the bad guy.
Right.
What are your when you see this back and forth of like, could Beane be justified to kind of get in Pegulu's ear to say, hey man, you see what's happening? Because now the conversation was they had a meeting 5 months ago and things got to rumbling, and I guess Sean was like, bro, the roster ain't good, bro. Fix it. And this is on Twitter right now. The roster ain't good. Fix it. People are saying, yo, he called you out.
Right.
But Beane's probably like, hey, hold on now. You're in charge of the roster and how you construct it. I give you the pieces. You're supposed to do what you do. I don't know if you can share more on that, but I'm like, is Beane being, put in a bad spot because of McDermott, or is just par for the course? It's just what it is when it comes to the power struggle between head coach, GM, owner involved, all that good stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot there. Let's break it down one by one here. Let's start with some of the pot shots that McDermott has thrown in the media. You mentioned a few of them, Jacoby Myers one.
Yep.
I've been covering the team for 4 years now, and Sean McDermott is one of the more calculated human beings I have ever been around, full stop. And I mentioned it, but I didn't think a lot of it. But when he spoke glowingly of Myles Garrett in that regard, it kind of blew me aback. Not because Myles Garrett isn't awesome. Myles Garrett is probably the best football player on planet Earth right now. It's not hard to give him credit. But Sean don't talk about nobody like that. And he spent 30 seconds showing nothing but love. And then when you think about how much they've invested into the defensive line over the years, like, hey, man, I need somebody like Myles Garrett. So like that came to mind. And then the number one thing that we brushed aside in the media, so like looking back on it, this is just a failure on us. Sean and Brandon were both asked, do you think this roster is good enough to win a Super Bowl? Brandon Beane went up there and said, yes, this team is good enough. Sean McDermott went up on that same damn stage and said, I love these guys.
Oh, I remember that.
One person said yes. The other person, without hesitation, said, I love these guys. You tell me now, knowing what we know now, how Sean truly felt about the ingredients that he was given. Now, that's one separate part of that conversation. The next is how much say-so that Brandon Beane versus Sean have in constructing the roster. We're for those who don't know, Brandon Beane and Pegula's talk tomorrow at 10 a.m. I will be there. We will ask.
Will you be there? Because that was one of the questions that I was going to queue up. Because somebody was like, yo, you got to be there. You going to be there? Okay.
Yes, I will be there. For those who live in Western New York, make sure you tune in to Channel 4. We're live streaming it. We'll be chopping it up the whole time, me and Josh Reed. So make sure you guys locked in 10 o'clock on the dot. You'll hear from Pegula as well as Brandon Beane. We'll be asking them questions. And you'll get our reaction to it live. So like none of that filter bullshit. But we will ask, how much control did Sean or Brandon have in certain situations? Who knows what type of answer that he gives us? But I think that's a very valid question. I know the general manager is supposed to be the person who has ingredients, but for all those who maybe aren't aware in the chat, very tenured coaches start to get power and say-so in how they build their roster. Sean McDermott was the head coach for the Buffalo Bills for 9 seasons. If you guys don't think he had no input on the type of players that he brought into this building, I promise you, I got some oceanfront property in Buffalo to sell to you.
Hold on. So are you telling me that you think, based on what you know, because I'm looking at this defense, he's a defensive-minded guy, but like bringing in a Keon Coleman, I can't see. I had this argument with my man Pierre today. I was like, Sean came into the league. You saw the stat. 2 Pro Bowlers out of 58 players drafted. That's you. Before Beane got here, it was Doug William McDermott. McDermott had Milano, Deion Dawkins, Trey White. Who am I missing? Jordan Poyer brought in as a free agent. Micah Hyde brought in as a free agent. Fam, you had core players that McDermott and Whaley put together. The minute Beane came through, 2 Pro Bowlers out of 58. Now Christian Benford, y'all can say maybe he is one. It is what it is. The Pro Bowl is also a joke a little bit, But at the same time, there's some merit to it. So I say all of this to be like, fam, I was doing all right before you got here. And then since you got here, it is what it is. So I'm looking at this as saying, is McDermott right for calling it out? If I'm supposed to be coaching,
well, we don't know how much input McDermott had. Like, listen, there are teams all the time that have heaters for one offseason.
True.
There's a lot of teams who are one hit wonders now. Look at the New Orleans Saints. They had the best draft class of all time in 2017. What happened after 2017? They had Lattimore, Trey Hendrickson, Alvin Kamara, and Ramczyk. They had Mr. What up, Rock? Do you ever feel nervous to ask questions specifically? Yes, I will be there. Do I ever get nervous? Nah, but you're in a room with like 30, 40 people, so you just got to make sure you feel the room and like asking certain questions. That's a good topic. We'll talk about that in the offseason. That's actually a good topic. I'll let you know how my job works in that regard.
No doubt.
But I think it'll be naive to sit up here and say that Brandon Beane had complete autonomy on this roster and Sean McDermott had no say-so. When you're a defensive head coach, you have say-so on at least the type of archetypes you bring into this building. If you think that it was solely Brandon Beane's idea to just bring in a bunch of undersized linebackers and defensive tackles, once again, I got some nice oceanfront property on the east side of Buffalo to think that it was only Brandon. No, he had say-so. And then also when you think about some of the archetypes that he did bring in, look at Poona Ford, and now he is one of the better defensive tackles in football. Look at Tim Settle before he got hurt. There are certain archetypes that Sean McDermott wanted. He had in the building, didn't think it would work. You tell me and listen, this isn't to say that Sean McDermott had complete autonomy on the entire roster.
Right.
Defensively, he 100% had say-so on at least the archetypes. Maybe not the exact players, but he had control over the archetype of player that wanted to be at One Bills Drive.
I've always wondered because you had Cole Beasley's, you had the John Browns, you had the small separating type of receivers, and we went away from that. And we went big receivers, Keon Coleman, right? We went to Kumaro, and then we went to these bigger guys. And I wonder who.
Now that I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So like that, if defense is what he dealt with, and he's like, yo, you can have the offense, and this is what the offense looks like, bro. They're both to blame on the situation, but one got the axe and one's still here.
That's the problem. We on the outside, we don't know who had. We don't know who. And maybe we get that answer tomorrow.
You give me one of these, all right, bet. I get it.
You too old for that. You too old for that shit.
So let me bring this in, right? Because I'm looking at the tenure. 9 years. 9 years, no Super Bowl, bounced out 3 times straight by the Kansas City Chiefs. You're bounced out by the Bengals. Now you're bounced out by Bo Nix. It had to come. At one point, someone's got to answer for this. We just can't keep bringing it back. As much as you like Coach, you just can't keep bringing him back. So I'm looking at this whole situation. I'm like, your defense is giving up. That's your domain.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Mike McDaniel is now the offensive coordinator for the LA Chargers.
We saw that. I saw that coming. That's a good one, go. You get rid of Greg Roman, you bring in Mike McDaniel.
I like it.
Boy, they're back on track, baby.
Yeah, keep going.
Listen, I like it. I like it. Breaking news. You're Adam Black Schefter, or what's going on? I like that, man.
Nah, I don't pay for my sources. I'm good. I'm good.
That's my guy. All right. So I'm looking at this 9 years, bro. 9 years, 30 points a game. There comes a point where, like, forget about how we lost that game. 30 points a game, bro. And it sucks because you got Dane Jackson coming in off of an injury. Then you got Darnell Savage coming in off of cramped injury, and then those are the 2 times that you get lit up for a touchdown. I mean, part of you wants to say, but that's what he had. Part of you is like, that's the defense. Are you coaching the defense well enough and allowing 30 points a game? It sucks. It really sucks. I feel for McDermott, but like when you look at it objectively, it just something had to give, and that's exactly what it turned out to be. So I'm looking at this now. Coaching, they got to figure something out. Let's talk about coaching. Where did this word? Do we go offensive-minded coach? It seems like we might have to, or do you go defensive-minded coach?
It's great you asked that because I spent all last night putting together a nice, beautiful Excel sheet. I can't share it with you because I got a lot of personal
all
stuff.
Good. All good.
But so I'll say this. My personal philosophy in terms of hiring head coaches, and listen, as someone who was born and raised in Cleveland, I have been around for a lot of head coaches.
All right.
But my personal philosophy is that if you have an established quarterback, I prefer, or either an established quarterback or a quarterback that is young and upcoming that you see promise with. So a good example of that is Cam Ward or Jackson Dart. I prefer the route of getting an offensive mind because it creates stability in the building. It creates unity. And like that coach will never leave. That quarterback will never have another new offensive coordinator because he will always have that coach. Mm-hmm. Having said that, this is the wrong cycle to be looking for that guy, because if you look at the available options for that archetype, the hot shot is really only Clint Kubiak. If you were to look at coaches who have called plays and there are also offensive guys, here are the list. You ready?
Yep.
Joe Brady. I'm just reading names. Just let me know who's sexy, who's not. Joe Brady.
All right. Sexy, somewhat.
Mike McCarthy.
Heck no.
Cliff Kingsbury.
I kind of like it.
Todd Monken.
Hell no.
Mike LaFleur. He was the one that was the Jets OC. Now he's with the Rams.
I'm good.
Brian Dable.
I'm listening.
And then Clint Kubiak.
I need to know what the big hype with Clint Kubiak is.
The big hype is that
you might as well just stick with Joe Brady.
The big hype is that he's a young guy that call plays. That's all I got for you. Because here's the thing is that, and to this to inform people on like some of these decisions, most coaches call plays before they get head coaching jobs. There are 3 coaches right now that currently have a job that had never called plays before they got the job. Mike Vrabel, Zach Taylor, and Dan Campbell. Those 3 did not call plays before they got the job. Zach Taylor was with the LA Rams. Obviously, Sean McVay called plays. Mike Vrabel is his own beast. We know that. And then Dan Campbell was with the Saints for a while. He did not call plays under Sean Payton. So I just listed you off the names of the guys who call plays. Now, if you want to go buck the trend and take a risk on a guy who has never called plays, there's Davis Webb out there. I know a lot of people love him, but he has never called a damn play in his life. What are you bringing here if you're an offensive guy that don't call plays? What do you bring to the table? Like,
you know what they bring? Who was it that was? I think it was Hawkins. Hawkins was speaking glowingly of Davis Webb, of how he's got a beautiful mind, he knows the game, et cetera, but never call plays. Does that matter? Does that matter?
How many offensive I'm going to go through the names of offensive coaches, and these are all coaches who call plays: Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, Ben Johnson, Kevin O'Connell, Andy Reid, Sean Payton. I can go to Liam Cohen.
Yeah.
None of these guys are just guys who just say like, "Hey, roll the damn ball out." If you are an offensive coach, the benefit is that you call plays. It's the same thing defensively. Sean McDermott was a successful coach and got a job with the Buffalo Bills because he called the Panthers defense. And there are very few coaches who have stability in this league that do not call plays. Point blank, period. So if you want to take the risk and go outside of the box and get a guy who doesn't do it, by all means, you can do that. It's just that this is the wrong year to search out for that guy. If you wanted to get that guy, last year was the perfect year to do it. Go get Ben Johnson, who is the best candidate I've ever seen enter the portal, whatever you want to call it. Like, so it's a tricky situation to be in. Now, if you want a defensive guy, I think this is the year that you can make sure it's shape. I love Jesse Minter, the Chargers defensive coordinator. I would have loved Robert Saleh, but obviously he's.
I would have loved that too.
Yep. I would have. Chris Shula is still out there, the Rams DC. He's making a lot of stuff shake with a less than stellar back 7. Vance Joseph is the Broncos DC. I don't know how much he fits, but he's coordinated a very high level defense.
What about Brian Flores?
Brian Flores, although his only situation is that he's suing the NFL. I don't know how that really works. I don't know how that works. Like, he's actively suing the NFL, but I like him. So it's a weird situation to be. We will talk to Brandon Beane and Terry Magula tomorrow, and maybe they give some insight on the type of archetype of coach that they're going for, and maybe they'll give us some insight. But for me personally, I've been big on offensive guy because that builds stability and continuity with your quarterback. But I'm not going to get a C+ offensive guy in spite of getting a B+ A- defensive guy for the sole purpose of stability. So it's a tough spot to be in if you are the Bills searching for a head coach.
Last one for me, and because I know you got to go, you got to get out of here. Tomorrow's presser. I just have a request.
Okay, I'm listening.
I need you. You know, sometimes there's a guy that gives it a pep talk before, you know what I mean? Get all your questions out. Put a star next to the toughest one. Put these guys on the freaking block and just chop them down with questions. You got to. You can't toss up softballs.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? I think we all deserve that.
I think Bills Mafia deserves it. I mean, listen, the reception that and obviously I'm not from here, so my temperature is based off of what I see from you guys, right?
Yep.
I don't have the internal temperature because I'm not from here. I don't have the same pulse. But listen, it's our duty as reporters to to ask questions that you feel as if our audience wants to know, and I think we got a good pulse on some of the concerns is the word I'll use. Some of the concerns that Bill Mafia has.
And just one last one. Whenever somebody has to ask a question, just pick up the mic and speak in that bitch, man. Please.
Here's the problem. That's a Bills PR problem. It's 2026 and
you don't get yourself in trouble. You good.
Yeah.
You good.
I still work with them. They ain't get fired. So I mean,
yeah. Listen, I sent the message. I added them. They on notice now. You know what I'm saying? Even the president of Bills Mafia was like, yo, I got you, bro. So he ain't listen to me, listen to that dude. You feel me? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I have way more questions for my guy, but he's got to go to work. We'll catch up. We got all off season. We'll do it all.
Listen, next Tuesday, I'll give you my thoughts on what happened. Yeah.
Yes, so we gonna talk about that. And I need feelers. The question's cool, but I need you to pan the room and look at people's reactions. I'm a people watcher. I need that.
You want me to be messy in that bitch? Okay. Yeah.
Hey, I need you to be that messy bitch, man.
Yeah. Listen. You know what? We'll talk about that shit off air. Hey, love y'all. Y'all be safe. It's cold as hell out here. Make sure y'all stay warm, man, because it's wicked as hell outside. Be safe.
Listen, man. Peace out, bro. Listen, Linda. I hope that message resonates a little bit with my man, and he goes out there and does his thing. A big shout out to my man, Carl Jones. All right. And we're going to get his reaction next week as this thing goes down. So tomorrow's press conference, it's set for 10 a.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Atlantic for me. So hopefully I can get away from what I'm doing so I can press that sucker so I can listen to Brandon Beane, keep it a buck, and keep it straight. Now let's get into some of the things I want to get into. All right. And it's this power struggle. Because that's what it becomes. It's a power struggle. And if you didn't feel deflated last year in the AFC Championship game and saying, like, how do we not get this? You knew going into this year was going to be you need to go in and you need to get it. And that creates more pressure. And I'm sure there was some conversations during the offseason that said, if you don't get it done, bro, we're going to have to look at this whole thing. So here starts the season. We go through a barn burner with the Ravens. We win that one out. And then we get on a little win streak. And then we lose games we had no business losing, right? Losing to the Atlanta Falcons. Losing to the Miami Dolphins, especially the way we lost to the Miami Dolphins. So there were a lot of things that stood out this year on some of the losses that we encountered, right? Losing to the Patriots with 3 turnovers. Shame on us. So there were moments that we kind of went into this game. We're like, what do we do? We barely got over the Cleveland Browns. Losing to the Eagles the way we did. Like, there were losses that we took that certainly would put pressure on McDermott. And him being let go isn't a surprise. It should not be a surprise if you really look at it. You've been in this almost a decade. You have the best player right now. Well, arguably the best player. Some might say top 5. Some don't even think he's the best quarterback in the game. Regardless of the fact, the guy is a unicorn. The guy can run the football with ease. He can throw the football. He's that dude. And you're not winning? Yeah, but Peyton Manning didn't win his till his 30th. I get that part. We do. But you've had opportunities. My goodness. You've had opportunities and you can't get over the hump. And the money and free agency is catered to the defense, which is McDermott's side of the football, where he's supposed to be the guru. But yet, every playoff, divisional game, AFC game, L after L after L, and these L's come in just weird situations. There's always a weird, quirky thing that happens in these games. And the Bills are always part of it. So as an owner, as a GM, what are you supposed to do? My team keeps losing in an awful way, and I have to answer for it. Something's got to give. You're the one coaching. You're the one developing. What did you think I had to do? That's one side of looking at things. Then I'm looking at McDermott's side. I was brought in here to change the culture. Not only did I change the culture, bro, I built this thing brick by brick back up to what it's supposed to be. Back up to the standard of when the 90s Bills were running things. This team became a place that free agents wanted to come. I remember the days, I'm old enough to remember the days people just came here for a paycheck. Bro, I'm at the end of my career. Let me just go to Buffalo. I'm near the end of my career. Let me go to Buffalo. T.O. came here for 1 year. Let me just get a paycheck and play for Buffalo. They talk about Buffalo's such a great town and this, that. They came for the paycheck and dipped. Who was it that was saying, bro, there's nothing to do in Buffalo, man? Strickland. Was it Marshawn Lynch? He ain't like being over here. This guy came through and changed the culture where dudes are actually looking at Buffalo to go play at Buffalo. They're a winning culture now. They're a respected team. You got a franchise cornerstone player that you can absolutely build around. And we're close. We're a consistent playoff team. 17 years without seeing a playoff. This brother came in and was like, all right, let me see what I got. Let me see what I can do. Tyrod, let's lead the way. Playoffs. We draft Josh Allen. We kind of take a step back. Okay. And then we've been on ever since. And you're gonna fire me? You're going to do that to me? I'm putting cases on all. I'm telling you right now, he said I'm putting cases on all you guys, especially you, Beane. Now my man is gone. My guy, our guy, McDermott is gone. But here's what's funny. Because we went months and years of like, yo, he got to go. McDermott got to go, bro. McDermott got to go. McDermott got to go. It's all been a McDermott got to go. It's all of a sudden switched up to like, yo, Beane's a snake. Beane is no good. Bro, think about it though, for real. Do you think this argument has been happening, just brewing the last, couple weeks in playoffs? Bro, this thing was brewing probably from last year. This has to be. I'm speculating. This has to have been brewing from last year. I remember seeing Beane and McDermott always together. You know what I'm saying? In training camp, they're sitting there just chopping it up, and they're doing their thing. Bro, did you see that a lot the last couple off seasons? These losses start to pile up, man. And now someone's got to answer for it. Somebody has to answer for it. Because you doing nothing or Pagula doing nothing is an action. It's okay with this culture of like doing well and the community loves you, all that good stuff, and then you lose. And I remember seeing people say, yo, Pagula doesn't care. As long as his team is making money, that's all that matters to him. Well, he's had enough. He's had enough. So now the Bills are without a coach. And now this is my biggest worry when it comes to this firing that took place. Because McDermott is such a good man, number one. I mean, you don't take it from me. Take it from his players talking about him. Take it from people that have met him in the media. Take up people that talk to him and outside of the media. They have nothing but great things to say about McDermott. McDermott has built something special in Buffalo. Now that you've let him go, you got players coming out and say, yo, this is BS. Yo, how could y'all do this? Yo, that's my guy. They're coming in great support of McDermott. You move on from McDermott, bro, whoever comes in has got big shoes to fill. Whoever comes in after McDermott has big shoes to fill because you bring in a guy that nobody F's with. Man, listen to this guy, man. He don't coach like my last coach. Of course he's not. Man, yo, I'm not buying what this guy's saying. Yo, if you don't get the buy-in from these guys right off the bat, right off the rip, bro, there goes your culture. And if that culture fails, bro, there's no love. There's no love in the building. Now you're not playing for each other. Now you're just here for the paycheck. I don't want the Bills to be that team that players just come for the paycheck. So whoever they come and replace McDermott with, you better understand the city. You better understand the culture of that team. You better understand your players. You better come in with a resume. Because if you're somebody, you know what I'm saying, that I don't know who they would bring in that wouldn't do the job. I have no idea. That's why this is going to be crucial. And the worst part about it is Brandon Beane's the one that's going to be calling all shots. The roster falls on him. Coaching falls on him. He is the guy. So if things go awry, that's all on him. Here's the irony in all this. Every time that the Bills had a blunder, there was a scapegoat. Rico Dennison, offense was working. You bring in Brian Daboll. Brian Daboll let go because there was some kind of rift. The offense wasn't doing it, and it just wasn't working out. Out goes Brian Daboll, right? Here comes Ken Dorsey. Ken Dorsey comes in, not happening, doesn't work out. Boom, he's out of there, right? All the offense work. There's a scapegoat, and then it just started happening, right? Leslie Frazier, 13 seconds. What happened? He steps down. Maybe there was a conversation. Scapegoat. The irony in all this, the final boss or the final scapegoat ends up being McDermott. Ain't that something? There was always a reason as to why the Bills weren't working. There was always finger pointing. There was, the receiver coach wasn't getting these guys ready, right? He leaves. Actually, he left on his own. He was like, I ain't doing it. Certain players left, right? There was a Danny Crossman. Wasn't a special teamer. Gone. There was always some kind of, this guy's got to go. This guy's got to go. But the same freaking results end up happening every time we got to the playoffs. Finally, ain't no more scapegoat, bro. Brandon Beane was like, yo, Pagula, you got to go. And the way, who I left the biggest one, special team, I did it. Danny Crossman, I said it. Danny Crossman was in there. So it's a tough situation for the brother, but I mean, I got to look at it objectively. And Pagula's got to look at it like, yo, he's listening to everybody. He's got his daughters and his kids and grandkids. Who knows what's going on? But people are talking, and he hears it from the Sabre side. He sees it from the Bills side. Although there's been great success, but we can't win a championship. That's what I'm here for. And I got Josh Allen, one of the best players in this game, and we can't win. And I see my player crying at the podium. That's enough. Enough is enough. Something's got to go. So, final boss sent home. Justified? Some might say yes. What is the average time when a franchise or great quarterback and a head coach can't get things together? Yo, you got to separate, bro. You had 5 years to do it. That's your 5-year contract. You have 5 years to do it. And right now, they plateaued. The Bills have plateaued. They plateaued. Regular season, they do well. They flounder in the middle of the season like they always do consistently, and then they pick it back up again. But this year felt different. It felt different, but we were still in every single game. But it gets tiresome of losing the same way every time by absolute misery and heartbreak. I'm only starting to get over this loss now. And then this whole firing happening, that just puts a bad taste in my mouth because I actually like the individual. And here's the worst part. They fire this brother. Then they put out a statement. And the statement's got spelling mistakes. Is not as heartfelt. It's just like, yo, that's a coach that coached this team for damn near a decade. And that's what you do? That's what I got? Fam. McDermott comes in and writes a beautiful piece about the community, the team, all the people he's met. These guys come in with something that was McDermott. Pagula was probably sitting on the toilet, wrote this thing up and just press send. Send it to the PR squad. The PR squad didn't even look it over. They went copy, paste, threw it in there. It's tap. I feel for the brother now. Now, nothing can be done now. McDermott will move on somewhere else. And I'll tell you this right now. He will take some players with him. He will take some coaching staff with him. But it makes sense because whoever comes in with their own staff is probably going to bring their own people in. Maybe they'll retain some people. Maybe it's someone that returns to Buffalo. Maybe they have their candidate right here on the team in Joe Brady. Would I want that personally? No. I need someone that can command a room. Joe Brady does not give me any reason to sit here and say, yo, that guy's got my attention. Not whatsoever. I need someone that commands a room and that can get people's attention right off the rip. McDermott gave you that because he was an older gentleman. You know what I'm saying? So you want to give respect to your elders, and he did a great job doing it. Came with respect, came with integrity, and he always kept it a buck. You'll never hear anything bad. You haven't heard anything bad about him since this thing has gone down. So whoever does come in, you have to make sure that you got that room. And you better make sure you got your quarterback. Because if your quarterback don't mess with you, it's a wrap. So now the Bills are one of the hot teams out there in need of a coach. Robert Saleh, gone. Mike McDaniel, gone. Not that I would have wanted Mike McDaniel as my head coach, but he gone. Who will Pagula hire as head coach? Offense or defense? You had all these brothers crying in the locker room. And now McDermott gone. I know somebody was like, hey, man, I wonder if Josh Allen's going to say something. He is absolutely not going to say a word. I highly doubt it. Highly doubt it. So now the coaching search continues. The coaching search continues, and we'll soon find out if the Bills are going to make the right decision. They better make the right decision, because if they don't, we are in trouble. We are absolutely in trouble. So here we are. Now, before I get back to my notes, I got to talk about this game real quick, because I do have some things that I want to share that might not be so popular. And let's get to it. I'm not going to spend too much time on it, because I'll tell you right now, that game annoyed the hell out of me. Because we had no business losing to that team. I stand on that. We have no business. We were the better team. I don't give a rat's ass what anybody tells me. We were the better team. I love the Bills. You guys know that. I love this team. Love Josh Allen. But if you're an elite player, if you're the guy that's supposed to get over the hump, you're supposed to be different. You cannot do those sugar high Josh Allen things like that. I think I'm done with you got to live with what you got to live with Josh Allen. You got to live with it. That's the type of guy he is. You got to live with it. I'm not living with that bullshit no more. There comes a time where you got to grow up and stop doing that nonsense. Because you got 22 other guys that are looking at you, fam, like, yo, we need this, bro. You got a head coach that is without a job because of your acts. And people don't want to hear that, but it's true, because if we win that game, McDermott is still coach. And we're preparing for the New England Patriots. But 17 is out here willy-nilly with the football and all that jazz. Bro, enough, bro. Enough. I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. You're too old for this nonsense. You're too old for this nonsense of willy-nilly with the football and doing all this nonsense, bro. You're too old for this crap. Enough. Love Josh Allen. But, bro, there's guys that are not going to be on this team next year because of this loss. This loss has got everything shuffled now because McDermott now leaves, and there's guys that were brought on this team by McDermott. So now they're gone. They're out of there. New coach comes in and says, I don't F with you. I don't F with you. I don't F with you. I'll bring my own peoples in. Coaching staff. Babbage is probably gone. Joe Brady's probably gone. Not that I care about that, right? Ryan Nielsen's probably gone. Cromer was like, I'm retiring. I'm out. I ain't doing this. Too much heartache for me. I'm out of here. Bro, your actions on the field is costing people their jobs. Let's keep it a buck if we're going to do it. I love the dude, but that's what's happening. That's the reality. So when Josh was up there on the podium crying, there's reason for it. Obviously, the loss hurt, excuse me. But he also knows, I'm looking at all these guys in this room. When he said, I let people down, oh, he knows what he was talking. I know what he's talking about. I let people down, meaning, yo, there's people that's not going to be back in this locker room. Joey Bosa, you out of here. Epinesa, you gone. Matt Milano, I tried to get you a championship before you left. You out of here. Poyer, my bad, bro. You gone. Like, there's a lot of guys that's not going to be on the squad no more. It's going to be a different squad next year. 4 turnovers is unacceptable. You're not going to win games like that at all, ever. You're not going to see guys like Tom Brady will do garbage like that. You're not going to see, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to see Pat Mahomes give up the football line willy-nilly like that, especially when games like that matter. Hell no. There's a reason we can't get over the hump because of these foolish and silly things. There was a shot, and we missed it. And who knows when we're going to be back? Honestly, I mean that. Who knows when we're going to be back? Strong like that. Unless Beane brings in somebody that knows what the heck they're doing. If you experiment and let's try this out, fam, ain't nobody trying to try anything out. I need a tried, tested, and true coach coming through. So you got rid of McDermott. That's cool. You got rid of him. But you better come correct and bring the right guy in. You got to come correct and bring the right guy in. If I'm talking ish, put the potato in the chat. If I'm saying something, find the little key, find the little fireball, find the little 100%. Let me know if I'm touching on the pulse. I know it's uncomfortable. It's not popular, but them's the facts. Them's the facts. So when Josh was boo-hoo-hooing on the mic, there was a reason. Because half these guys in this room probably going to be gone. So now it's a gut check time for him. This offseason is going to be a very interesting offseason for Josh Allen. It's going to be a very interesting offseason for him because now what Josh Allen are we going to get when he returns? He's always going to be nice. We know that. There's no question. He's always going to be that dude. But where is he going to be up here? You ain't got your coach no more. You've been with that brother for 8 years. He gone. Most of the position coach is going to be gone. Joe Brady's probably going to mostly be gone. So now you're going to be dealing with a new offensive coordinator, new quarterback coach, new running back coach, new O-line coach, new head coach. a GM that at least there's continuity there and there's a relationship there. But everything else is different. Hopefully this is the move needed to get over the hump, because there have been guys that had to let go of a highly tenured coach, and the moment that coach left, team had success. Take a look at the Seattle Sonics. Golly, Seattle Sonics. Take a look at the Seattle Seahawks. They could damn well win the freaking Super Bowl this year. New coach, new GM. They say, yo, we got to change the culture. We got to change everything. And I'm sure there were some grumblings happening. But boy, oh boy, are these people, are 12s absolutely happy about it. And I'll tell you right now, I love this. Change is very difficult for everyone. Some folks can do it. Some folks are not great with it. But you know what happens with change? You get used to it. I'm sure after Marv Levy left back in the day, you're like, bro, who's going to coach this Bills team? What the heck? Oh, man, we're so used to Marv Levy. Change was difficult. But we also had to go with a carousel of coaches before we found one that we like. Enter McBeane. I still like Beane. Beane has always been a guy that shows me that he straight shoots. He doesn't waver. He doesn't go back and forth. He gives it like it is. I'm hoping that he gives it like it is tomorrow. What I do anticipate is they'll ask questions and he say, well, in respect to Sean McDermott, he's not here, so I can't answer for that. He'll have to answer for that. I hope he doesn't refer to that reply all freaking press conference long. I want him to keep it straight. Keep it real. Because right now, fans are not happy. They don't want to see you right now, Beane, because they think you're the bad guy. So it's almost as if you gotta go back in there and say, well, let me kind of break it down to you on how this all works. So the real question becomes, who was responsible for what? Because I'm curious, because I got into it with my man P Money, aka Pierre. And we were discussing responsibilities and why the fallout and what potentially could have taken place. And Pierre was making some really valid points. And I was like, well, then because we were mentioning about, okay, who was in charge of the roster? McDermott. Who was in charge of, the roster construction? McDermott. Who was responsible for the player management and who gets in the blame and who doesn't get in the game and so on and so forth? McDermott. So like he was mentioning all the tasks that McDermott had and all the power that he had. So then what the hell was Beane doing? Drafting, free agents, contracts. And they both report to Pagula. One's in charge of the roster and what they do with the roster and who he wants. I assume that's how it works. And this guy's responsible for going to get it. What I want and what you get, I think that's where the standstill. I told you I wanted this. Yeah, but I can only afford this. Why can we only afford this? We don't got no money. Why? Well, I had to pay Von Miller. You wanted Von Miller. Touche. I had to pay Joey Bosa. Well, I told you to go get somebody. You decided to get Joey Bosa. Well, you need it for your defensive line because that's what you love. You all our money is in the defensive line. So like, I'm getting the groceries. You tell me what you want. I get you what you want, but you don't like what I get you. Yeah, because you don't know how to manage the money. I don't know. Could it be that? It's like when you told your mom to go get Fruit Loops for you and she comes with Fruitios. What the heck is Fruitios? That's all I got. That's all we could afford. Fruitios, it tastes the same. No, it don't. I need a 10 to 12 to 14 sack guy. I'm getting 6. I'm getting 5. Well, Fruitios is what I got. Fruitios is what you're getting. Von Miller is what I got, and Von Miller is what you're getting. Joey Bosa is what I got, and Joey Bosa is what you're getting. Balen Spector is what I got, and you're going to get that back. Oh, by the way, you're going to get Jordan Poyer back because I got no money. How do we have no money? Because that's been a whole thing. Where the money at? Doesn't it feel like the Bills have been in cap hell forever? We got like damn near $60 million rolled up in like 8 players. Fam, that's disgusting. I want Apple Jacks. You're getting Apple Jumping Jacks. It's the same thing. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Roll with it. So there's fault in the GM position too, because you're bringing me the groceries. You're telling me to cook with the groceries, but the pork tenderloin you got me is dry as hell. I can't. Where's the marbling? I need the good stuff. So I always wonder where the heck did all this money go? That we just cannot get quality free agent players to come to this squad. And you can't tell me nobody wants to come to Buffalo. Cap. Buffalo's a winning franchise. Who the hell wants to go to Green Bay? Right? I can name all these little small markets. Ain't nobody trying to go there. Wisconsin? Give me a break. Missouri? Who wants to go to freaking Missouri? Get out of here. I'm not buying all that. So Brandon Beane has got some fault in this too. McDermott may have not done a whole lot with the roster, but you getting me the groceries. You're the one getting me the players. So what you want me to do with this, man? So the report out there is that, he called out Brandon Beane in front of Pagula on the roster. You got me Elijah Moore. You got me, which you cut. You drafted Keon Coleman, which I had to bench multiple times. You brought me, you drafted me Kincaid. That brother can't stay healthy. Guy was playing 30% snaps all game. I'm sure he gutted himself out. I get it. You got me a Josh Palmer. This brother was a bust all year long. Like what you want me to do, man? So that power struggle went along. So I bring this up because you have a guy that he's only responsible for getting the groceries, but he's got really no say on what he does with that. McDermott has an argument to say, fam, those pot shots I took at you that you don't like, they were warranted. Now, I totally get it. I, as a GM, would have been kind of like, what the hell are you doing? Why are you airing out what you would have liked, knowing that our budget, we don't got the money? At this point, McDermott didn't give a rat's ass because he probably thought, if I'm going out, I'm going out on my sword. Him saying, I'm standing up for Buffalo. I was like, that ain't McDermott. That was the guy that was trying to save his job. That was the guy that was trying to stick around. Or that was the guy that was saying, I know I'm getting fired, so I'm going to say what I need to say. Because that boy, like my man Carl Jones said, he's calculated, very calculated individual. Damn it, I'm standing up for Buffalo. I was like, what? He's never stood up for Buffalo like that. But I think one thing that really irked McDermott is he had young DBs ready to go, but these injuries really killed him. This defense was supposed to be something, but these injuries, suspensions, killed it, right? Max Harrison couldn't really be developed as well because he got hurt in preseason. Cole Bishop, the same thing happened to him his rookie season. Couldn't really develop because, injuries. Michael Hoyt, torn ACL. Larry Ogunjobi, you saw what happened. He suspended for PEDs. Like, there were a lot of things that went down not in the control of McDermott. So what can you do? Nothing. You can't. You got to work with what you got. Oh, Jamarcus Ingram, you released him? Why? Oh, we claimed Darius Slay. Oh, okay, so when's the report? Oh, that's the thing. He's not. What? He doesn't want to come. So why'd you release Ingram? Well, we needed to make room. So now I'm down a corner. Yep. So Dane Jackson's, yep. Okay. I guess I got no choice. There were a lot of guys that had to trot out there. They had no choice. Now, I don't know why Darnell Savage was put out there when that brother was on the practice squad and never was on the damn field, and all of a sudden you decide to put Darnell Savage on the field when you had Jordan Hancock right there. So, listen, you can pinpoint and poke and prod at a whole lot of things, but I'm going to tell you this. Messy. Let me go back to my notes. So, was Beane the problem? I don't think Beane was the problem. I think when you are in a friendship, relationship, business together for 9 years and problems start to arise and the results aren't coming in, there's friction will happen. Whether you can get over the friction is one thing. You go into business with a friend, it's probably going well the first 2, 3 years, 4 years. 5, 6, 7 years, you start seeing the faults of one another, and now you just can't stand one another. That's where the breakup happens. Roommates. You ever become a roommate with a friend, and you're always told, don't be a roommate with your friend. Doesn't work out. Nah, that's my homie, man. We're good. All of a sudden, y'all ain't friends no more. Because we decided to go in on living together, business together, whatever, and it's a wrap. So to me, at the end of the day, McDermott was not happy with the Fruitios. And Beane was like, bro, that's all we got. Stop being bougie and eat what I can afford. And that's what it came down to. One didn't want the bargain bin. He was sick of the bargain bin because at the beginning of his career, he was eating nice. He was eating filet mignon. You know what I'm saying? He was eating nice. AFC Championship. Right when we're young, right? 2020, AFC Championship. Oh, shoot, we're here already? Bro, we're ready. We're close, bro. He was eating nice until we couldn't. We had to pay some people. We had to move some money around. McDermott was used to eating nice, and then Beane was like, bro, we can't eat nice no more. Now we gotta start eating, you know what I'm saying, out of no frills. For the Canadians that know there's no frills, you know what I'm saying? Those are the lower end grocery stores or the cheaper end grocery stores that are affordable. My man wanted all the good stuff. We couldn't afford it. Here we are. So all the complaints just got too much. Oh, you think you can do it all by yourself? You bad? Then go do it yourself somewhere else. You better hope that he doesn't do it well next somewhere else, because he will. He will have success. Wherever McDermott goes, he will have success. So that's why I bring up that if whoever and wherever, whoever comes in. Somebody said, my man was, eating ramen noodles versus steak. He used to have steak. Now he's eating ramen with steak flavor. Steak seasoning. You don't got the real thing, but we can make it taste like it. That's right. And McDermott he had enough of it. Jokes aside, though, right? You know me, I like to clown. Jokes aside, trying to figure out who the bad guy is pointless, because there's a side. Everyone's got their side. So to sit here and make it seem like this guy's the bad guy, that guy's the bad guy, bro, it just didn't work out. 9 years is a very long time. And the results are supposed to be a Super Bowl, and you never even sniffed one. Not even actually get there and lose in the Super Bowl. You never got there. And I'll tell you right now, that number, that magic number is approaching. You know what that magic number is? Josh Allen turning 30. Shit gets real when a player turns 30 years old. I don't know what it is about that number, but usually when you get to 30, you're on the back half. You're on the back nine, is what folks would say. And in Josh's case, you know what I'm saying? He's on the back nine. And the back nine, sometimes that's usually when people turn it up. The first nine, the front nine, if you will, you're just warming up. You're just trying to find your stroke. You know what I'm saying? You're just trying to find the right club. Maybe Josh's back nine is when he really truly takes off and really gets over the hump. You just have to get rid of the caddy. You had the wrong caddy. Look at me referencing some golf. Now we're going to get a new caddy. Let's see how your caddy works out for you. So Joe is Davis Webb the guy? Who knows? Who knows? My man said, yo, Rico, ask this. Why are we broke, though? Is Sean McDermott telling Beane to go all out on these stupid contracts? And that's the thing. That's a great question. Bro, you wanted Von Miller. I got him. He tore his ACL. He was on a roll, though, but he tore his ACL. Nothing I can do. How about this? Stop going after these old players. Stop going after these old players. Stop going after guys that were once good or now they're washed and think you can kind of reestablish them. Here's another one. Draft better. That's the Beane. Draft better. You had Lad McConkey dead to rights, a receiver that would have paid dividends for Josh Allen. Josh Allen is not a deep ball thrower. He's not. This guy's not good at throwing the deep ball. He's got one or two that work, but he's always underthrowing it. You guys have been hearing me say this for years. This is when Stephon Diggs was here. I was saying this. Underthrowing, the amount of times that we have to turn back and wait for the football. For a guy that has a cannon, he's either way off or he's underthrowing the football. I think I've seen him throw someone in stride on a long throw maybe a handful of times. Maybe I'm tripping. And the ones that vividly stand out to me is Robert Foster, Gabe Davis on the 99-yarder where he just ran underneath it. It was money. I'm trying to think of like a long, his accuracy is not great. So get him guys that are intermediate. That's where Josh is money. Accurate, pinpoint. Now we're going to get you Keon Coleman. We're going to get you Kincaid. Oh, by the way, he can't stay healthy. And by the way, Brandon Beane's like, yo, I need a guy that can put some weight on. Did we see a lot of Kincaid? No. We saw a lot of Dawson Knox. You can tell I'm still pissed off about this game. And by the way, this is what I was going to tell you that you guys are not going to like. Brandon Cooks did not come down with that football. Keep it a buck. Keep it a buck. It wasn't the same as all these other ones. Watching that thing constantly, oh, yeah, his knee went down, this and that and there. No, bro. I saw the Devontae Adams one, and I saw the other one. The refs.
Buffalo Fanatics, what's going on? This is Pierre the Kingpin, and I wanted to talk to you today about Cigars International, which is the ultimate destination for premium homemade cigars. Known as the industry leader, Cigars International offers the largest selection, unbeatable prices, and a customer service experience that's second to none. Whether you're new to cigars or a seasoned vet, Cigars International makes enjoying cigars easy, approachable, and fun. Cigars International is the go-to retailer for all things cigars, with the biggest selection of premium homemade cigars available anywhere. Cigars International offers unbeatable deals and discounts, making it easy to stock up on your favorite or try something new without breaking the bank. With fast free shipping and their 100% satisfaction guarantee, you can shop with confidence knowing that Cigars International stands behind every order. They have good relationship with vendors that helps provide great low prices. Whether you're new to cigars or a seasoned pro, Cigars International makes it easy to find the right cigar with helpful guides, staff reviews, and expert advice. It's not just about cigars. Cigars International also offers a wide range of accessories and more to elevate your smoking experience. Check out the great deals every day at cigarsinternational.com. That's cigars, CIGARS, international.com. Use code FANATICS at checkout for 20% off your order of $50 or more, plus free shipping. Or visit www.cigarsinternational.com/fanatics, and the discount will automatically apply. Again, use code FANATICS at checkout for 20% off your order of $50 or more, plus free shipping. Or visit www.cigarsinternational.com/fanatics, and the discount will automatically apply.
Making that call, I was like, and the thing is, usually when some of these guys catch that ball, they're like, yo, coach, I caught that. You sell it. Brandon Cooks didn't sell shit. That brother rolled down, he stayed down for a bit, got up and walked over it. Don't think that was a catch. And I'll tell you this, if the roles were reversed, and you had Cole Bishop right there and he rips that football out, you're going to be like, yo, he never had control of it and it fell in the Bills' hands. That's an interception. That's exactly what would have happened. And by the way, Allen underthrew that one too. Brandon Cooks had that brother beat by 2 yards. 2 yards. I'm still pissed, by the way, because that's a touchdown. Brandon Cooks had that guy beat by 2 yards. Underthrown on that 36-yarder too when he had to come back for it. Bro, I can't tell you how annoyed I am about losing that game. We had no business losing that game. Golly, man. Anyway, I don't think that was a catch, personally. I was pissed just like everybody else. But the more I watched it, or slowing it down and freeze framing it and looking at the other catches and looking at that one and looking at all these other catches, do the refs know what the hell they're talking about? No. Do they get them wrong all the time? Absolutely. This one, I side on more of like, Because initially when it first happened real quick, bang, bang, I was like, shit, he didn't catch that, man. He dropped that sucker. I'm still upset. I got calls. I'm still getting calls. Bro, you good? You all right? Rico, they call the same play a catch for security. The refs are inconsistent. That is something that I'm always going to side with everybody. They are inconsistent as they come. But that's what you get. You get a different crew that sees it differently, that call things differently. It sucks. But it is what it is. Now, when looking at who's responsible for what, McDermott roster, 53-man roster, coaching staff. He was responsible for the coaching staff, who to bring in, who not to bring in. You saw the litany of coaches coming in at offensive coordinator. Back to back. There was always something wrong with the offensive coordinator. So be it. Okay. After Leslie Frazier left, then it was Babbage. It's one of those things where it just doesn't work out. So the rift, I'm trying to end here, okay? The rift between the coach and GM, especially and Carl said it best, when you've been long enough in the game, you report right to the owner. And I don't think Beane liked it over the time, because I'm doing something over here, like the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing. But both hands report to up here. Like, it's just odd. And I thought they were like this. Clearly they weren't. It's just a weird dynamic of how they have it. But some structures have it this way. So tomorrow's presser, I hope to the good Lord that these guys come prepared and ask the questions and don't let it off on it. Right? You still got a job. They're not going to just take away your credentials because you got a little too mean in the press conference. That's why you kind of respect the Jerry Sullivans of the world, because that brother is just, as negative as you want to call him, he'd ask the questions that need to be asked. Straight up. And I'll be damned if somebody says, hey, Brandon Beane, you hold your head up. You did a good job. Buffalo loves you. I'm hoping somebody says that, actually. I'm hoping somebody comes in and just gives him, after being defeated with all the questions, you did a good job. He deserved to be fired. 9 years. That's a long time of no success going to the Super Bowl. You did it. City of good neighbors. We got you. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I kid. So the press conference that happens tomorrow. Terry Pagula and Brandon Beane are going to be sitting there on the spotlight. The light will be bright, 10 a.m. I'm sure they're going to be speaking on the Denver loss and what it meant for Beane was, what it meant for McDermott. Was McDermott going to be fired after that game regardless? Or was he playing for his job all year? Was his job on the line for this game? Were you planning to fire him way before? Was he supposed to be fired last year? Bro, I want to know these things, man. Because this abrupt firing doesn't make sense. That means you wanted to fire this guy a long time ago and somebody was in his corner or just the wind started coming. Unless somebody got in your ear and said, nah, bro, I need him. Unless you went to Josh Allen. Josh Allen's like, no, bro, I don't want any of that stuff. I just want to, let's ride it to the end. And then you can do what you want to do afterwards. Some people are saying that Josh must have had some kind of say in this. Do you think Josh had say? That's one thing I'm trying to decide. I'm trying to understand. Did Josh Allen have any, I wouldn't call it any say. Did Josh Allen have he's the final say, if you will? Meaning, bro, go ahead, do what you got to do. It has to be done. He's got to go. I get it. Did Josh Allen know this prior to the press conference where he got up there and started crying? Did he know I got him fired? He's gonna go. Was he playing with that pressure on him? If I don't get this thing right, they're gonna fire my coach. Who knows? Those are the questions you gotta ask, and I hope you ask these questions. You got to talk about the Denver loss. You got to talk about the firing of McDermott. You got to talk about what coach you're going to bring. What kind of coach are you looking for? Are you looking for an offensive-minded coach? Are you looking for a defensive-minded coach? Are you looking for a coach that's been in this game a long time? Are you just going to bring Brian Daboll back? Brian Daboll was the guy that didn't give a rat's ass how Josh felt. He got in Josh's ass. You can't do that when you're sitting in the booth. McDermott, I don't think I've ever seen McDermott chew Josh out. Ever. When he does that bozo move. Never. So you need someone that can keep Josh in line. That don't care about his feelings, but just cares about the wins. It's a lot of internal drama. Bills are not usually part of this drama nonsense. There's a lot of drama going on in Buffalo. So this press conference tomorrow is going to shape the narrative going forward. It is going to shape so they better carefully choose their words tomorrow, because narratives will be flying. So they better be honest. They better keep it a buck, and just hopefully it goes the way we need it to go, where there's transparency all the way through. But I'll tell you right now, tomorrow changes everything. Everybody's going to be watching. I'm talking about coaching candidates, agents, right? If I have a client that y'all are calling, you want me to go over there, you want me to send them to that mess? Nah, we'll pass. We're gonna go somewhere else. Nah, Buffalo right now, they ain't got it right now. They don't even have a head coach. Let's figure out who their head coach is before we even do anything. So you guys need to act quickly. The Bills can't sit on this and just wait. They got to act quickly, but they can't just act quickly for no reason and just grab anybody, because people are watching. They're watching to see what the next move is. It better be someone that's respected. You got some pedigree. You can lead men. And maybe, just maybe, it's an offensive-minded guy. And he's innovative. But that, you're looking for a super coach. How many coaches can do that? Right? That can do all those things. Sometimes these coaches just come out of nowhere. The fact that Sean McVay got hired when he was, 30? But he was like a guru. He was that dude. And he looks like he can present himself, and he can get in the locker room and hold it down. So is Davis Webb that dude? Sometimes the look of someone can kind of tell you something. What's Davis Webb look like? I forgot what he looks like. Is this a guy that you can that can? I gotta share my screen real quick. And you guys let me know if this is a guy that can command a room. I need a guy that looks the part. I promise you, I'll get in the comment section in just a moment. I need a guy that looks the part, man. If you look the part, I'm with it. Davis Webb. I mean, I was about to grab a picture that I think I would have been funny. But like, that's our guy, Davis Webb. Is this a guy that can command the room? This guy right here? Who knows? He's a big guy though. But one thing I do know is he's super smart. And I remember when the Bills were in training camp over the summer, I think it was the first year that Stephon Diggs came to Buffalo. All the summer get-togethers and all the things they were doing, Davis Webb was the one organizing everything. He was organizing everything. He had everything. Josh didn't have to do anything. Davis Webb, the backup, was the one setting up. This is the drill we're going to do. This is what this. I remember that. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Davis Webb, dope. So Davis Webb could be, but guess what? You can't talk to a coach that is currently getting ready to go and play the AFC Championship game. So they're going to have to wait one more week. With Bo Nix down, Jared Stidham up, it's a very good chance that the Patriots are going to move ahead. So then we'll have an opportunity to see if Davis Webb is a real deal. But all I'm hearing is great things by Davis Webb. And by the way, Davis Webb is only 30. He's 30 years old, a 30-year-old coach. He'll be coaching grown-ass men. But if you got it, you got it. You played the game. You know Josh extremely well. Y'all are probably boys. You've been in that locker room before. You've been in that building before. They kind of know you. It could work. Because if you're not going to be a guy that looks the part, at least if you have this, people respect this. Bro, he knows what the heck he's talking about. I'm in. I'm all in. Let's roll. Davis Webb comes in as head coach, and now he goes and grabs an offensive coordinator somewhere, a respected offensive coordinator. Now, here's another thing. Whoever comes in as coach, I don't want you to pass off your responsibilities. Davis Webb has never called plays. Never called plays. So how does that work? We're going to find out when he interviews. That's a young coach, though. That's a young coach. So that's why I say this is going to be crucial. This presser tomorrow will kind of give us an idea of what direction these Bills are going. Are they going to go completely opposite from from McDermott? Or they want to stay kind of close to what McDermott was like? I don't know. I just know that I don't want Mike McCarthy. Do not bring me Mike McCarthy. I don't know what it is about Mike McCarthy. I'm not a fan. Do not. Do not, please and thank you. All right, let me get to my last piece of notes here. I talked about Beane and his ability to, like, how much money we have. Are we in the negative right now? We're in the negative. Do you know how many guys we're losing? That's going to free up some cash. But do you know how many guys that we are losing on the squad that's going to make a difference? Like, we went from having Shaq Thompson and Matt Milano being our two linebackers that did the damn thing. Guess what? Shaq Thompson is a free agent. He was signed on a 1-year deal. And Matt Milano had his contract is void. This was his last year on this team. You know who the linebackers left for us are? The guy that got benched, that they thought he was injured, but he was really benched in Bernard. and the guy that busted his neck, Dorian Williams. Those are your linebackers next year. Ouch. Ouch. Your defensive front. Epinesa, free agent. Joey Bosa, free agent. The only guy that we have on the line is our Ed Oliver. Daquan Jones, free agent. So we got Ed Oliver, Deion Walker, TJ Sanders, Solomon, Greg Rousseau. Ouch. You see what I'm saying, folks? You see what I'm saying? Changes are coming, and Josh knows it. The team knows it. Now you got no head coach. The only thing that kind of looks respectable is our back end. Max Hairston, Christian Benford, Cole Bishop. We don't know what's going to take place with that's the other safety spot. Is it Hancock? Hancock did not look good. Dorian Thompson was a corner. He's a backup corner. We'll see how that goes out. Trey White, his last year. Bro, there's a lot of changes coming to Buffalo. Brandon Beane has got a lot on his plate. And I'll tell you this. Brandon Beane's also the type of GM that will free some. There's going to be a lot of money freed up and some things happening. We're going into the new stadium. He's got to come in with the right coach that he hires. Then he's got to go aggressively somewhere to rebuild this team, retool this team. You're losing McGovern and you're losing David Edwards. You got to figure something out with those two. Bro, the changes are coming. Look at your receiver room. Your receiver room is buns. Changes are coming. So what in the heck will be done? Do they trade Deion Dawkins? I see my man say, yo, you got to trade Deion Dawkins. I doubt they do that. But I'm going to tell you right now, I wouldn't be shocked. Because guess who came in 2018 and who brought him on? McDermott. Bro, that presser tomorrow, that the narrative is going to be set. That presser tomorrow will shape the narrative moving forward. Y'all better be prepared, bro. Bring your popcorn. Let's go. So let me tell you this. We've been in cap hell for years, constantly bargain bin shopping, overspending on deals like the Von Miller, the Joey Bosa's of the world, and some of the other free agents that we brought onto the squad, right? Josh Palmer, terrible, right? We moved on from players we maybe should not have moved on from. Drafting hasn't been great. 2 Pro Bowlers and 58 picks, not great. Bro, tune in tomorrow. And we're going to find out what's taking place. Boys and girls watching, if you guys enjoyed this show, do me a favor. Smash that like right this second. Smash that like. I'm about to get into my super chats and get into the super chats and get this thing cracking. First things first. Hold on. Let me roll up. First things first. My man Signified Knows comes in and says, yo, firing him wasn't a mistake. Because that was the big question. Was firing McDermott a mistake? And my man Signified Knows is saying firing him wasn't a mistake. It was long overdue. Hate to see it happen, but it's the results of the business. And that's the facts. It's the results of the business. Signified Knows you were bang on. You don't win the Super Bowl. You have 9 years to get it, and you don't. I got to make a change. Nothing personal, but I got to make a change. Mistake was keeping and promoting Beane too. Well, Beane was probably like, listen, now that I have full control, and here's the thing, right? While McDermott is down on the field coaching, who do you think is in the press box with the owner? Brandon Beane. So every loss that we had, yeah, I know. We tried to talk about that, but yeah, let's go. Now you're having a meeting. You saw it. They had a meeting 5 weeks ago, and it did not go well because McDermott was like, yo, you ain't doing this. My team don't got what it takes. We don't got the talent enough, and we don't got the. And Beane and Pagula was like, aren't you the one coaching? Aren't you supposed to do all that? All right, bet. Okay, that's how you feel? Cool. That meeting was not supposed to go that way, but it did. So I'm sure that played a huge part in his departure. So tomorrow is going to be good. So promoting Beane, yeah, Beane's like, yo, now that he's gone, let me show you how it was done. I've been in this a long time. I know what it takes. I'll get the right coaches, I'll get the right players, and I'm going to be drafting like crazy. We're getting some money in the bank with some guys I got to restructure and move around. Trust me, I'm gonna make this right. You got to trust me. I'll come to you when you need to hear something. I'll deal with all this. Hopefully that works, because if it doesn't, then we got to trust Pagula to move on from Brandon Beane. And it's a good thing, because we don't hear from the Pagulas, but you almost want to hear from the Pagulas so we kind of know what's going on. But that's not our business. Like not a lot of owners are like Jerry Jones. You hear Jerry Jones, but he's also the GM. So you're going to hear from him. You're not going to hear from the Pagulas, that's for sure. All right, let's keep it moving. What up? It says extremely disrespectful to Sean McDermott. The statement. Oh, it was. I didn't like that statement. It was weak. You don't put out a promote, and you don't promote, and what am I can't even read. You don't put your promote Beane together with a statement. The statement's 3 hours apart. Ain't that crazy? A statement of saying, yo, we let go of such and such, boom, 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 boom. And then 3 hours later, by the way, we promoted Brandon Beane. What? That in itself makes it look snaky, fishy, and something ain't right. But also, that tells me that this was in the workings for the longest time. Yo, as soon as we get that, we'll let it breathe a little bit, and then I'm announce you. We can put it all in one stop, but we'll give him his own post, and then we'll get you going. I don't think this was not done out of nowhere. This has been brewing for a long time. I bet you over a year. And eventually it's going to come out. You know how these things go. Whenever you break up with your girl, nothing happens. Or if it's a divorce, or you got let go from the job, or you quit the job, but everybody says you quit, and then you find out, no, he didn't quit. We fired him because he was stealing. Oh, he was? But he said that he had a case against you guys, and things, whenever breakups happen, it gets messy later because the real stuff starts to come out. The shock is still wearing up on people, but once the shock is gone, the real starts to come out. It's unfortunate, but it happens. My man, Don Cali. What up, Don? Blunder Beane. Prime 17 has 3 to 5 years based on the way he plays. Screw the choice up with Rex, or like many draft picks, the Allen era was wasted. Sickening to think. It's not wasted because I was talking about earlier, man. Josh was on the front 9. You do a lot of learning on the front 9. You do a lot of learning to say, okay, what's the grass like? Okay, so if the grass is kind of, I'm not a golfer. I just do it for fun. But the grass is kind of shallow, or the grass is kind of, it's thick. Okay, so on the back 9, I kind of know how to do that. Okay, the wind. Now I kind of have a feeling about what the wind is like. Okay, now Josh is 9 years in now, so maybe you might see a little different Josh. Don't forget, man. John Elway didn't win his till 36, 37. Right? And they always like to proclaim that Josh is like John Elway. Now, the game is different then. Yeah, you're relied heavily on the run game. And now you're passing the football a lot. So, it changes. But I'm going to tell you this. He's on the back. He's going on the back 9 now. So he's going to be all right. He's going to be all right. I got my guy, DR Goalie. What up? He goes, have you heard the speculation that Bills legend Ryan Lindell is in the mix for head coach job? Feel like that is our most solid option. Ryan Lindell. I don't know if you're trolling, because I have not heard the word Ryan Lindell, and I've never in my lifetime heard a former coach. Listen, the only Lindell I know was a former Bills kicker. And this is another somebody by the name of Ryan Lindell. But I only know one Ryan Lindell, and that was the kicker. I never heard a damn kicker become a head coach ever in my lifetime. Special teams, maybe. Kicker, heck no. Appreciate the super chat, though. Appreciate the super chat. You guys already know that. See, Jello, apparently there has been a dispute between Beane and McDermott over Pro Bowlers, or is that what it's saying? Beane and McDermott over Emmanuel Sanders back in 23 draft and they had friction ever since. Shoot, it might go back that far. Maybe these guys have been at odds since forever. I don't know. But there's a lot of speculation coming out. Signified. Carl, I'm asking from the bottom of my heart, please go for the jugular tomorrow. Please ask the hard questions and collaborate with your colleagues to make sure Beane and Terry can't dodge hard questions. Signified. I ended up saying that to Carl. I said, yo, get to your colleagues and make sure y'all huddle up and say, yo, y'all ready to ask the right questions, right? We all in it together. All right. We're not all getting let go. We're not all losing our credentials. Let's hit them with the hard stuff. So hopefully that's exactly what takes place tomorrow. All right. Let's keep it rolling. Jacob, my man Jacob comes in and says, yo, it feels like Buffalo is in a situation where the risk of firing McDermott outweighs the reward. A new head coach could mean years before we see another playoff appearance if this doesn't work out. You're absolutely right, man. That's why you have to nail it. You have to nail it. Because I'm big on, you guys know this, man. Like, think about all the back in high school when you had the most friends, right? And one of the friends, I don't know, moves. That friend was like the glue guy. And once that one friend moves, it's the group's not the same. So then you start kind of branching out. It's not the same anymore. And now it becomes different. It's not bad, but just very different. It wasn't the same. And if you try to replace that friend that left with some random, yeah, you ain't the same. You cool, but you ain't the same. That's the way I feel about this one. Culture is huge. If you mess up that culture, bro, it's not good for anybody. And I don't want the Bills to go back to that there's the old Bills again. No. We got to keep this consistency going. We were 5-time division champs. We allowed the freaking Patriots to come through and, you know what I'm saying, have one. We got to get that shit back next year. But our schedule, if you thought this schedule was easy, bro, wait till you see next year's schedule. Schedule is tough. We're playing 8 teams, I believe 8 teams of teams that finished a playoff team. 7 teams, excuse me. I think it was 7 teams are playoff teams this year. Think about that. Cardero Linder, my G. What up, Cardero? What's going on, man? Yo, he says, what's up, brothers? Is there anybody in college they would get as a head coach? I know one. Let me share my page real quick for y'all. So right now there are some choices. There are some folks that are out there that could play a part in this. Let me share my screen. I'm sharing the wrong screen here. I'm going to try to get rid of, there we go. I'm going to share my right screen. I'll share the wrong screen, folks. I apologize. So here's what it looks like. I hope you guys can see my screen. I hope it's big enough. Is it big enough? Please tell me it's big enough. Pause and let me know what you think. All right. So right now, the Bills head coach potential candidates: Clint Kubiak, the Seattle Seahawks offensive coordinator. Right now, and we're splitting it with offensive minded, defensive minded. Then you got Chris Shula from the Rams defensive coordinator. You got Jesse Minter, the Chargers defensive coordinator. Davis Webb, the Broncos QB coach. Never called the play, could get the head coaching job. One will never know. Brian Dable could be a dark horse to return to Buffalo and become the Bills head coach. We already know he's a Western New Yorker, or he's a Buffalo guy. I think he was born in Welland or near Welland, Ontario. I think he's a Canadian. But anyway, I know he when he came to Buffalo, it was like home to him. So could he make his way back to Buffalo, where he has an ear, he's got respect, he's been coach of the year, but he also just mismanaged the New York Giants badly, and they fired him. Who knows? Ejiro Evero, young and up-and-coming defensive coordinator. He had them Panthers playing some good football. Could he be a dark horse? Brian Flores, an option. Joe Brady, hire internally. Mike LaFleur, the Rams offensive coordinator, right under the tree of Mr. Sean McVay. Could there be something there? Mike Tomlin, will he take a year off, or is he intrigued by coming in and being the Bills head coach? Wouldn't that be something? Both William Mary coaches coaching the Bills. Wouldn't that be something else? Mike McDaniel, gone. He's out of there. And then there's that college one. Marcus Freeman, the Notre Dame head coach. I don't know anything about Marcus Freeman. All I know is that boy crisp cut every time, and that boy looking fresh at all times. He's the Notre Dame coach. But an opportunity to, I don't know, you get an opportunity to go professional and coach Josh Allen and the Bills. Wouldn't you take that opportunity? I know I would actually consider that. That's for sure. My man, Money Mitch. What up, Mitch? Mitch comes in and says, I would like to promote the chaplain of the Buffalo Fanatics. If Beane gets promotion, I think I deserve one too. Listen, man. Whether the Beane promotion means that he helps find the coach, then the coach helps find the GM, and then he steps aside, or he's the GM for a little bit, maybe for this year, and steps aside and says, I'll just be the president, and then I'll get you a GM afterwards. I don't know. And then have both of them, because that's what could essentially happen, folks, right? Where he says, I'm going to be the GM for now. I'll step aside. I'll hire a GM. You both roll to me, and whatever needs to be said, I roll to Pegula's. I can also see that happening as well. We'll see. What up, Jello? Jello says, yo, Rico, you don't fire one without firing the other. This is a half measure, and that is not a risk you take when Allen is in his prime. Beane plays it safe. He plays it too safe, and that is not how you win in the Super Bowl. That's the thing. You can't play safe. You got to be the right kind of aggressive. There's moments to play it safe. There's moments not to. I thought the same way. You fire both of them and start fresh and start from scratch. Maybe, just maybe, I'm gonna put it out like this. Just maybe, Pegula ain't dumb. He knows exactly what he's doing. I mean, you're never dumb if you're a billionaire. If you're a billionaire, you did something right consistently to get where you're at. Maybe because just don't take his silence for not knowing anything. Maybe he's sick of it. I mean, I remember when he got involved and wanted to know what was going on with the Bills, and he goes, "Yo, I want Pat Mahomes. That's the guy I want." And McDermott was like, "Nah, chill. We got to build this thing up. You got to trust my process. Chill. We'll get a quarterback. Don't you worry about that. We'll get one." Well, they got one all right, but they can't win. And the one that he wanted has won 3. Not only did they win 3, they bounced the Bills out 3 times, and that was a quarterback that the owner wanted. And they said, "Nah, bro, chill. We'll get you something else." So maybe the whole time Pegula was the one saying, "Bro, Brandon Beane, step aside. I'm making the decision. He out. Yo, can we think about this? We're not thinking about anything. I got 9 years. 9 years. I'm not doing another 9. I'm not doing another 2. I'm done. I've seen enough. That's a decade of my fan base is crying because we can't get over it because he's the one leading it. Maybe the message is getting stale. I'm done." Sometimes it be like that. All right, my guy Richard Fresh comes in. Cool as a cucumber here, Rico. Y'all really think Pegula going to let this team go to hot garbage? Culture is fine, but I argue these boys are too comfy. Sometimes it could be that way. When you have the same leader, you do tend to get comfy. And now when a new leader comes in, you got to straighten up a little bit. Oh, shoot. You got to straighten up. Oh, all right. New coach is in town. What's going on? Right? When it's the old coach, man, what up, me? What up, McDermott? We cool. Yeah. We watching film right now. New coach comes in. Yeah. We on it, coach. We got it. So, maybe new leadership comes in and really turns things around. But are we far off, or is this going to be a total rebuild, a retool? We're going to find out. But we have to draft well. I just don't believe we've drafted well enough. And I think this is where we got to draft well. So will Brandon Beane, does he have something cooking? Does he have something going? Is he going to trade both his first and second round, his first year? Let me repeat that. Does Brandon have something brewing? Right? Because he never gave up his 26, 27 first round picks for Waddle. They wanted both. He said, no, you can only have the 27. And they said, deals off. And they were ready to go for just the one. That was the rumor earlier. So if he didn't give it up, does he have a plan? Does he plan to give up his first round pick 2026, his first round pick in 2027 to move up in the draft? Or is he going to go all out and go for, I don't know, Justin Jefferson? Yo, take my first two. I want Justin Jefferson. I doubt the freaking Vikings do that, but crazier things have happened. Go look at the Dallas Mavericks and the LA Lakers. Yo, I'll take Anthony Davis. I'll give you Luka. What? Deal. Terrible deal. My man, Mr. Clayton. What up, Clay? McDermott commanded a room without having to be a dictator. He gave players respect, and they responded in kind. It's hard to find a coach like that. 100%. And that's what I've been trying to say. This guy comes in the room. He's got the respect. He's earned the respect. He's earned the respect of the players, and he reciprocates that respect as well. So we'll go from there. Here's another thing that I read. I read that actually it was part of Tyler Dunn's article. I have not read the article. Whoever has read the article, you guys let me know if what is. But there was an excerpt from the article, and the little part from the article said that it was Brandon Beane that was the glue guy that kept the building together and tightened it and created the culture, right? And McDermott would go into a room and it'd be like, oh, there's McDermott. Okay, McDermott. And then Beane would come into the room afterwards and say, what's up, fellas? Everything's good. And everybody like, oh, Beane. So Beane was probably, this is what I'm reading out of that article from Tyler Dunn. Beane was the guy that was liked in the building. And McDermott was the one that was like, oh, McDermott, right? The players loved him, but maybe the people in the building were like, man, get out of here with that. Whether true or not, who knows? Tyler Dunn is also the guy that made the same article that was flaming the Bills and McDermott, more specifically McDermott. So maybe he's got a little something for McDermott. But that's a whole nother ballgame. So maybe we're looking at this completely wrong. Pagula understand what was happening. He's got the pulse, and he sees it from above and not saying much. And he's like, I see what's happening. He's got to go. You promoted. So maybe that is a whole other side of the story that we have no idea about. And I hope that it comes out soon that Beane has been great the whole time. That's why I'm not bagging on Beane. I'm not going to, because I like Beane. I like Beane. He's looking bad right now, but there's always two sides to the story. Never believe just the one side. There's always two sides to the story. Always. Or there's three sides. There's that guy's side, there's that guy's side, and there's the truth. We'll soon find out. McDermott doesn't give me the impression that he's one of the guys that's going to fib. He keeps it a buck. So who knows? Who knows? But I really appreciate that, Mr. Clayton, because I agree with that comment. Jacob says, yo, Josh hitting the golf course out the offseason. Yeah, you know he's going to do it. Signified says, yo, how are you going to flame Josh for his bad playoff game in 3 years, but continue to call Lamar elite despite the fact that he averages 2 turnovers in the same playoff losses? Because they're both elite players. Why can't they both be elite players? They are. You know that. You got one guy's a 2-time MVP, had a massive year last year. Not this year, but the year before that. Bro, he's nice. Don't play with me. He's nice. But so was Josh. Right? And right now, they're both Super Bowl-less at the end of the day. Call it what you want to call it. But me, I'm never going to, I'm not here to kiss ass, guys. You know the drill. I'll say it like it is, how I'm feeling in that moment, right? Thomas, what's up, Tom? Says, yo, most excited I've been heading into the offseason in a long time. Give me Dable or Kubiak, a vet defensive coordinator, and I trust Beane to get the roster right. Listen, man, we got to trust in Beane. Beane has got to show us that he's big baller Beane. If he comes in, because this is what I think is going to happen, or what I think he believes I think that needs to happen. He needs to get us back on board, because right now, Bills Mafia right now, we're not feeling all this. We just lost a big-time playoff game. It was ugly. And then you go and while we're mourning, you go and fire the coach. And now we're like, whoa, we lost and we're dealing with this coaching thing. And now we're going to get a new coach. Who's going to be the new guy? All that. So it's a lot to take in. It's a lot to take in. So whoever they bring in or whatever he does, It better be good. And if it's good, roll on it, because you can quickly get Bills Mafia back in your grasp and back in the good graces. But you hire the wrong guy, boy, it might not be good for Beane. It might not be good for Beane. My man Jacob says, you'll remember, Beane could have gotten Jalen Waddle, but nah, bro, I'm good. Acting like his draft picks were too. This is why I'm saying, man, we're going to be watching what you do with the first round pick and next year's first round pick. Are you making a trade for someone? Because he has the ability to rope us back in, right? When we thought we weren't doing anything in free agency, all of a sudden, the Bills are signing Von Miller. We went crazy. We're like, what? We got Von Miller? That's crazy. The Bills are trading for Stephon Diggs. The Bills are trading for freaking LaShawn McCoy. What? Get out of here. Never thought that was going to be the case. So he has a way of roping us in. But we ain't got no money, so I don't know what's going to take place. So I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting on it. My man Tebow comes in and says, should have never drafted Kincaid after paying Knox, and Knox was good enough. Go get a receiver or a difference making on the offense, on the defense, like how Cooks played around in season 2, back in seasons back to back. Kincaid, man. Kincaid. Let me just have a look at something. I want to see something with the draft year with when Kincaid. I want to see who was drafted after Kincaid, because we did just pay Dawson Knox and then we drafted Kincaid at the same time. We're like, huh? That's interesting. But we took best player available and that's who he was, but we just paid Dawson Knox. And Dawson Knox this year was fantastic this year. This guy was solid. And we leaned on Dawson Knox, right? Let me see, Kincaid draft class. I forgot what year it was. Was it 23? No, that was like 2022. Yo, sometimes time just flies, bro. When was that brother drafted? All right, because I want to look at who did we miss out on? And I promise you guys I'll share my page so we can get it. So 2023 draft. I want to see the first 2 rounds. And then we can really talk about it. By the way, shout out to my man Z-Bot. Went live with the McDermott firing. This brother went live for 3 hours. 3 hours. I said, fam, really? Are you crazy, my G? All right, let's roll. All right. So let me share my screen real quick for y'all. I hope you guys can see that. I'll zoom it in just a moment. So let me zoom that sucker in for y'all. Okay. So we went and grabbed. So Zay Flowers went 23. Quentin Johnson went 21. Jackson Smith-Njigba, golly, went 20. Okay. Dalton Kincaid, 25. So who did we trade with? Did we trade with the Saints? I forgot who we traded with to go down to get him. So look at Nolan Smith, 31. All right. So let's go to the second round, because that's what I'm interested in what took place in the second round. Second round, Joey Porter goes, okay, so here are the receivers. We had Jonathan Mingo, really hasn't done a whole lot. Sam Laporta was drafted after. Michael Mayer was drafted right after. And there was a whole lot left. Jaden Reed. You got Rashee Rice. Rashee Rice drafted later. And we already know what time was going on. Marvin Mims is about to go into an AFC Championship game. He was drafted second round. Let's go third round. Anybody stand out in the third round? Let's just see what's taking place here. Who's that? Zach Pickens. All right. Receiver-wise, you got Tank Dell went. Then we got Jalen Hyatt. He hasn't done diddly squat. Cedric Tillman's a decent receiver. Nothing too crazy. Nothing to write home about. Josh Downs. We could use something like a nice slot receiver like him, right? That would have been nice. And not a whole lot, right? You got Michael Wilson, decent receiver, nothing crazy. Trey Tucker, nice little slot. So not a whole lot after that. So all those things were beforehand. So if Brandon Beane has learned anything, is you need to get between the top 10 and 20. You need to find a way to move down into the top 10 excuse me, not top 10, between 10 and 20. Between 10 and 20, preferably in the 15 to 20 mark, where you don't have to give up too much. That's where you have to be. To keep picking in the back end of 20s, early second round, you better make sure you pick the right guy. Make sure you pick the right guy, because I'm looking at the rest of the receivers going further, and you really got nothing. So maybe this was not a great receiving draft class. But in that first round, let me see who went in that first round for receiver. Jackson Smith and Jigma and Quentin Johnson were the only receivers. These three, back to back. You had four receivers taken back to back. There was a run. So 20, 22, 23, 24. So we need to be realistically between 15 and 22, 15 and 20 to get a respectable receiver to help this team. We'll find out. We shall find out. All right. Holy smokes. You're my guy. I apologize. You are my guy. I appreciate you. Dude, was that Mike the whole time? Or did I just get it right now? My bad, guys. I apologize. So I'm looking at Cardillo Linder with this comment. I'm like, godly, you crazy, bro. Appreciate you. Well, the whole time I apologize. I was on the other list and I couldn't. So all I was pretty much going through was the receivers. And I'm going through the receivers and I'm looking at Jackson Smith and Jigba. There was 4 receivers on a run. We need to get to a position where if Beane is going to go in and draft a receiver, you got to get into the 10 to 20, 10 to 25. Picking on the back end of the first round, if you're really trying to get a receiver, it ain't going to happen. So the first round pick in 26 and that first round pick in 27, we're going to be watching what you're doing with that. We got to watch. We got to figure out what you're doing. We'll see. We will see. Okay, you didn't hear the draft stuff? Okay, cool. You heard the draft stuff. I apologize. All right. Cardero says, yo, how about this? Don't put the game in the refs' hands. Agreed. Hit Dawson Knox and Khalil Shakir with those passes, and we wouldn't be talking about this at all. Head coach will still have a job on this team. Players need to be held accountable and not coddled like a child. Go Bills, go Dogs. Let me keep this up for a minute because this is exactly how I feel. I said it in the stream with Zach, and I'm going to say it again. I'm a big believer in players play. Players are the ones that are on the field making these plays. Are there decisions that are made by head coaching that can screw you up? Time management, wrong personnel, you call the wrong play, et cetera, absolutely. But at the end of the day, you run the football, you catch the football, you tackle, you kick, you receive. You guys do that. Not me. You got to execute. And McDermott would still be here if execution was done, and it wasn't. That's the facts, man. And here's another thing, too. Here's another thing that I really can't stand. And by the way, Cardo Lindor, you're appreciated. That's all I'm gonna say. You already know it. I ain't gonna tell you anything. You've been watching us for a long time. You've been holding it down, and a trusted cat. And we appreciate you, man. Real talk. McDermott and this whole situation, right? Players play, all that good stuff. At the end of the day, that's what it comes down. That's what it comes down to, right? Y'all got to play. Y'all got to do this. I'll never be on the side of, it's because of this and the refs I don't believe in that. Leave the refs out of it. When I say leave the refs out of it, I mean by keeping the refs out of your business, you got to handle your business. The Bills did not handle their business, and you left it to the refs. That's always the way it's supposed to be. Don't leave shit to the refs. Don't leave it to the refs. And we're cool. And by the way, I never got a chance to give Prater a shout out, but Prater held it down, bro. Prater held it down. The pressure kicks that brother had to make in that game alone, unbelievable. Big shout out to Prater. Prater held it down. There's no lie about that. I ain't lying, man. Prater was legit. All right, Tebow, Jim Schwartz, Dable, split head coach and call own plays. Jim Schwartz, man. I think they're gonna give Jim Schwartz the head coaching job in Cleveland. Because that boy got that defense rolling. He just needs a good offensive coordinator that believes in Shedeur Sanders. And away you go. Because you got to have a coach that will believe in Shedeur Sanders and none of this back and forth with Dylan Gabriel. And I feel bad for Dylan Gabriel. The guy that drafted Dylan Gabriel is not on the team anymore. So Dylan Gabriel, his career could be done in the next 2 years. Because, unless he comes in and becomes the next Drew Brees somewhere, bro, no. It's not happening. It's not happening. So I think Jim Schwartz gets the nod in Cleveland. Burt Reynolds from The Longest Yard. I don't know what that means, but okay. Listening to you, my man Get Right says, yo, listening to you embodies exactly how I feel. I appreciate you, Get Right. Sometimes I'm not for everybody. Some people say, yo, I'm turning this guy off, man. Get off my screen, please. I get it. Anyway, it has been hard listening to these so-called pundits cop pleas for McDermott. It was our time. Defense let us down over and over again. Listen, defense let us down. Offense let us down. Josh let us down. James Cook let us down. There was not anybody that played good ball. Nobody played good ball. It's just what it was. Nobody played good ball. I can't say that. We didn't play good enough ball. We didn't play sound, good enough football. That's just the facts. We did not. And if someone wants to tell you we did, that's a blatant lie. We did not. We didn't play good ball. Dane Jackson, like, you've been part of this team. You know better. You know this defense. I get it. You got beat on a little stop and go. But man, you just got on the field. You just got on the field, man. You can't get beat deep. Golly, man. I'm still mad. I really am, man. What up, George? Oh, Gregory. What up, Greg? Greg comes in and says, yo, the new coach already has a crazy amount of pressure. Yes, he does. 100%. They aren't bringing this guy in to rebuild a bad team. They're bringing this guy in to literally win a Super Bowl and have to do it fast. There's no question, right? And he might come in and say, give me time. Give me like 2 years. No, we don't got 2 years. We don't got 3 years to kind of, that was before. This roster is ready to win. Not so much now because there's so much changes coming. So he might get a little bit of leeway. I mean, let me ask you guys this. Would you guys accept if it took the team a year to lose and just kind of clean house and have a rough year with Josh so we can rebuild even stronger the following year so we can compete for a Super Bowl? But it has to be that we have to take a step back and kind of go with the motions. Not tank, but kind of concede that, okay, we're retooling. We got a lot of retooling to do. Kind of like what the Patriots did. Patriots went a year with like not great. They went with Drake May, boom, boom, boom. And then they bring in a new coach and they come in and they're killing it. And they're killing it right now. Something of that nature. Would you guys do it? Or you're like, man, I'm not trying to see any of that. I'm trying to win right now. Bump all that. Do your job, GM, and do what needs to be done. Let's go. How would you guys look at that? Curious. Let me know. Get right. Vrabel year one. Geez, I didn't even read your comment, and I was just talking about that. Vrabel year one, May year two, Super Bowl bound has me absolutely ready to go crazy. And we can't get one opportunity in 8 years. Yo, I'm sick. I don't blame you, bro. I don't blame you one bit. Signify, what up, man? Rico, would you trade for Kyle Shanahan? If rumors are to be believed, I didn't know there was a rumor that he could be traded for. He has beef with his GM. Oh, and he's on the last year of his contract. Might not be as expensive to trade for him as you think. I would absolutely trade for Shanahan. I would trade for Shanahan. I don't know what it would take, but I would trade for Shanahan. There's no question. We need a genius offense. Look what he was able to do with Brock Purdy, which is not even on the level of Josh Allen. You've got CMC, which you have a James Cook in your backfield right now. You have George Kittle, you have Dawson Knox, and you have Kincaid. You have a solid O-line. You were dealing with a litany of receivers that who knows what, but bro, sign me up. We're not even talking about a damn thing. Sign me up. If in fact him and John Lynch are not seeing eye to eye, that would be something. Sign me up. Sign me up, sir. Sign me up. There would be no. You would not hear a peep from me. This guy went and led Macaroni Jones. Macaroni Jones went on like a 3-game win streak, right? The amount of injuries these guys were dealing with, and he still had this offense rolling. Are you kidding me? You bring Shanahan to Buffalo? We're not even talking. There's no questions to be asked. No questions to be asked whatsoever. All right. Let me go look at some questions here, and we can roll it. I got my man Flex56. McDermott lost his job because he didn't watch the Kingpin YouTube short telling Dane Jackson to not get up. That's it. If he did, he wouldn't have put him in the game. Problem solved. That's funny. Yo, Pierre must have been going nuts that game. Pierre must have been going nuts at him. So my man Adventure says, yo, I'm 100% fine with a rough year. Because sometimes, I'm not saying I personally wouldn't want it, but if it meant that I could be in contention, strong contention, with a salary cap that's reasonable and we can get back into it, cool. But I don't know if I'm ready for all that. I've been spoiled with winning. I don't want to go to a season of not winning. I just can't. I listen. Call me spoiled. I think I'm spoiled. My man Walter comes in. I don't get the appeal with Dable as head coach. If you really want him, as an OC, fine. He wasn't even good at calling offense when he was a head coach in New York, which is why Jones got better when he left. That's a fair argument. Or maybe just it didn't work out. I mean, you saw what him and Josh were able to do, so maybe you can recreate that. But sometimes things happen for a reason. But he also got coach of the year. He was also coach of the year. So, I mean, you can't really hate on the brother. Don't want to hate on him too much. Let me roll on back. Let me see what's going on here. My man Paul says, yo, the defense didn't help, but against Denver, when the defense did help, what happened on the next play? Bro, I'm not putting it on the defense whatsoever when it comes to like they didn't give you the shot, but we also can't give up 33 points. You can't. I mean, 3 of those you can say Josh gave them to them, but you can't give the boy. You know what pisses me off is had Josh not given up, had James Cook not fumble, bro, we win this game. Defense looks good. We don't even have to worry about a damn thing. But shit happens. Not much you can do about it. In the game against Denver, we got lucky we didn't give them the safety. Bro, they could have called that safety and the game would have been done. Could you imagine them ending the game on a safety? Ain't no way. So maybe that was a makeup call. Sorry, bro. Interception defense. You should have been caught with that hole, but we let it slide, bro. So, hey, listen, man, and that's why I said as much as you want to get on the refs, man, can't get them all. Listen, they're not great, but there's some times where they let things slide and when they could have, and that would have ruined the game. Oh my God, the game just ended on a safety. Could you imagine? Then it would have been Josh never got an opportunity to get his way because, bro, we ain't trying to hear that. They gave Josh an opportunity. Josh squandered it. Is that simple? Is that simple? Buffalo Bills Mafia 2337 says, yo, no one's coddling Josh. The only reason we were in that game was because of him. At the end of the day, Josh needs to do almost everything to win games. How about we get him help other than James Cook? I will not stand for that comment, and I'll tell you why. No one's coddling Josh. Have you not heard the media? The guy, not only did he turn the ball over 4 times, he gave the team 3 points. Literally gave it. He put it on a silver platter for this team. He gave them that team. And the worst part is we lose by 3 points. So, but we're not in it if it's not for Josh. We're also not losing it if it's not for Josh. Josh is one of those things that he's I've said this before and I'm going to say it again, man. He is one of those guys that he will make his bed, and that bed will be nice. You can bounce a quarter off that bed. And that's neat. And those games are great. And there's times where, bro, that boy just gets out of bed and and is a hurricane. And that's something. Josh was a hurricane this game, man. He was up and down. Up and down. Bro, no. I'm done with that up and down business. You're too old for this crap. Stop that nonsense, man. Like, get it together. Well, guess who Shanahan can't beat in the playoffs? Yeah, he's got his own demons he's got to deal with. Definitely got his own deal with. He's got to deal with. All right, folks, that's my time. I really tried to keep that at an hour. Look at me. I was making fun of Z-Bot, and I'm at 2 hours. 2 hours. Golly. My man Walter. What up, Walt? We're so conditioned to expect little from the defense that we don't even care to factor in they can't hold fourth quarter leads. They only give opportunities. They never seize them. Ooh, my man Walter's spitting bars. Let me tell you this. I will agree with that point because I was thinking of that. I think this is why I was so passionate in my yes against the Jaguars, because we normally don't end games like that. We are normally the ones that end up on the end of heartbreak because there was a pass interference, or there was a big deep ball and there was miscommunication, or there was nobody was talking. There was 12, 13 men on the field. There was something. And this game going into it, I was like, okay, Bo Nix, he's known to come back. Here they go. And this defense is going to give something up, aren't they? There goes Cam Lewis with a thing. And Darnold, and here's the crazy thing. I said, Darnold Savage is in the game? What the hell? And they went deep immediately. And I was like, hell no. Oh, Darnold Savage. That was number one. I was like, we're doing this. It's near the end of the game, and we're giving this game away. What are we doing? Dane Jackson gets in the game after, was it Trey White that went down? Somebody went down, and he had to go as a corner. It was Trey White. And I said, please, I said this to my wife, and I promise you, I said, please, roll the safety over to Dane Jackson, please. Roll the safety. Hut. Ball's in the air immediately. And I was like, hell no. Dane Jackson got beat on a double move. Where's the safety? The safety never rolled over. I don't know whatever the play that was called. But please, if you know that he's going to be in the game and I don't trust Dane Jackson, roll the safety over top. And that sentiment, that feeling is what I always get with the Bills, especially watching their defense in crunch time. They fold. They fold in crunch time. Oh, I'm sick. I'm actually sick. So, thank you for that, Walter, you jackass. You made me go back to that. My man, Cole Sheffer. What up, Cole? Cole comes in and says, yo, Rico, just for the sake of talking about it, you think him speaking out against the refs is any chance of why he's out? Conspiracy, but I could see it. Speaking again, nah, bro. He probably going to get fined on his way out. But nah, I don't think it had anything to do with it, man. It was just, some might say they tried to help the Bills. Some might say they tried to help the Bills with that, not calling that hold in the end zone. We're giving you a shot. And they took a shot, all right. Shot right to the other team and gave him the interception. Like going deep to Curtis Samuel between two safeties. Curtis Samuel's 5'9", 5'8", right? Yet you had Keon Coleman deep. Y'all are right there, but one's looking inside, ball's on the outside. Then one of the report, I think it was Tony Romo. Tony Romo was like, "Oh, he just threw it away." Whether true or not, I was sick. I was actually sick. All right, folks. There's a AFC Championship game going on. I know, and the Bills are not part of it. So this is your opportunity to get on that Sleeper app and take advantage of the $20 entry that we are hooking you up. How do you take advantage of that? Bro, get a 100% match right now up to $100. What are you guys waiting for? This is the way to go. We've been doing this dance a long time, folks, all year round. And this is your opportunity, folks, to jump in and get in there and make your slips, right? Drake May, where you going? Are you going NFC or AFC? I'm definitely going to go AFC. Stidham against Drake May. Give me everything Patriots up. This is going to be a slaughtering. I just think that they're going to harass Stidham, and I don't think it's going to be good. So go ahead and jump on there. Use that promo code BF25, and you'll get up to $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions always apply. You guys know that. So see Sleepers terms for use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. So check out your Sleeper app today. We got season's almost over, guys, and the Bills should be part of it, but we're not. We're at home getting ready for our Cancun trip. Isn't that sick? Aren't you sick? Because I am. I'm absolutely sick that we're going to be in Cancun together. All right. So if you guys enjoyed this show, do me a favor, smash that like. If you have not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. And listen, man, I appreciate you guys very, very much. We are near the end of the season. We're into the offseason. We will start to change the scheduling up a little bit when it comes to scheduling. Do I want the scheduling to change? No. But whatever goes down, whatever pops off, we're going to jump on it. Whatever, we're going to be on it with this coaching. So be ready for that. We're going to be ready to tackle that in this offseason. And should be a fun one, man. Should be a fun one. So stay tuned. We will be back at it back on Friday, because by then we'll maybe potentially have some news on coaching. If not, Bot and I have not had a chance to talk about this firing together. We have not. So be prepared to have more conversation. And by the time Friday rolls around, I truly believe there's going to be way more information out. And we'll have a better idea of who's in the wrong, who's in the right, who knows what takes place. By the way, did you guys see Joe Schoen, his presser? That boy was riddled with anxiety. And a 13-year coach, and he's had all the... breathe, brother, breathe. Golly. Anyway, that's my time. You guys enjoy yourself. 2 hours in the books, and we'll see you guys back again on Friday if Z-Bot is up for it. But we'll have some news by then, I'm sure. You guys have yourself a great one. And until next time, it's your boy Rico. It's the Buffalo Fanatics. You are tuned into the Rico Report, and we'll catch you guys soon. Smash that like before you get out of here, and we'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.